The East End Executive are a young, enthusiastic enterprise agency dedicated to the economic regeneration of Glasgow's East End.
The East End Executive is a very successful partnership from public bodies, namely regional and district councils and the Scottish Development Agency, and the private sector, encompassing some major companies such as Anderson Strathclyde, United Biscuits, who have committed themselves on a 50-50 basis to sponsor and support a small team, which we are, to provide assistance and advice to the members of the East End, the residents of the East End, to companies thinking of coming into the East End, and to companies currently in the East End that we can hopefully encourage them to expand their operations. We can use our database systems here to access information on property, finance, grants, loans, and training and education courses. We've got a bang up-to-date system which enables anybody to access this within minutes and hopefully find something that meets their needs.
The East End Executive were able to help us in marketing some of our products and how best to package our products.
I think the East End Executive has been a benefit to the company through everything, from preparing the business plan right up to approaching several people like bank managers, etc., to raise cash to help me set up and also expand.
It's been a great benefit to our company. We're a small company. When we opened up at first, we found it was very difficult to get premises, and we contacted East End Executive. They were more than helpful.
I find the East End Executive staff very helpful. Any time I've approached them, they'll try to explain what they're there for, what their purpose is, and if I wished any help, then they would do their best to see what they can do for me.
The help the East End Executive gave us has helped us in, I would say, several ways, but mainly I think they saved us a lot of time by sort of instantly pointing us in the right direction as far as borrowing money, etc. was concerned. They let us talk to the right people.
On the training side, the East End Executive were able to help us quite substantially in the setting up of our new factory.
The East End Executive has backed an intensive training project to ensure local men and women are considered for new job opportunities created in the area.
We got together with the Gateway and signed up a deal which ensured East Enders first crack at any job in there, provided they'd been selected, trained and prepared to work there.
The East End Executive helped us in various ways. First of all, in recruiting for a new store of such size, it was necessary to look for approximately 450 to 500 staff. The East End Executive formed a very good link between the job centre and Gateway Food Markets, therefore ensuring that we had the proper facilities and cooperation that made our recruitment easier. Secondly, they, through the development of the training programmes, made sure that the applicants that we received were of a higher calibre and that the applications were more in line with the needs of Gateway Food Markets. They designed training programmes whereby people identified the type of job that they would like. Through an interviewing process, it was identified the skills that they had and the skills that they would then require in order to be successful in that position. And they designed and conducted the relevant training programmes. Over 90% of the 450 jobs created were offered to people in the East End of Glasgow.
It's been very successful. We had a massive partnership from the education departments, the careers people, job centres, and what was more important, we proved conclusively to the investors and the people of the Parkett Forge in that instance that we could save them a lot of time and money and provide for us, the big thing, jobs.
Just as importantly, it will seek to ensure that local residents have the skills and qualifications to compete for jobs out with the East End of Glasgow. The East End Executive attracts new investment which helps to expand existing business and increase employment in the area.
The East End Executive has been very successful. You only need to look at the track record in terms of job creation since its inception 2 years ago, when hundreds of jobs have been created, primarily in the service area, but also it's been very successful in stimulating small business development as well.
I think it acts as a one-stop shopping project for new or existing companies and helps them to select the right piece of local authority, local government assistance that is available to them. It also gives them invaluable assistance with marketing, financial packages, and perhaps most importantly, can introduce them to existing companies in the area who can become customers of theirs and also who could become suppliers.
I can give you an example where just recently a small fabrication company locally came to the East End Executive, and they were able to put them onto ourselves because we have a very wide skill range in all these disciplines. The particular skill they wanted was in estimating and costing, and we were of assistance to them in that respect.
Setting up in business or expanding an existing business can be a risky game. The East End Executive aim to minimise this risk.
That's lovely, thanks very much. Good afternoon, can I help you?
Yes, sir, I'm Mr. Smith. I phoned earlier about seeing someone who could give me some advice about setting up business in the East End.
A comprehensive computerised database covering property, land, finance, education, training and business support services is available for client use.
Our information database was designed specifically to meet the needs of our clients. The database contains information about property and finance available to clients either setting up their own business or expanding their present business. It also gives details about training courses available to people in the East End of Glasgow.
A well-prepared business plan is vital to successful business development. We help you prepare a detailed action plan for your company, identify market trends and competitors, indicate types of finance, and recommend locations. We can also assist with the definition of your management structure and its responsibilities, along with the identification of local skills and labour.
It's quite an involved task. Basically what we do is with the client comes in, we sit down, we talk what his idea is, what he proposes, and we'd sit down and go through with him all the different aspects of a business plan, like of marketing, sales strategy, financial details of what's required, and also help him prepare it, so to try and make him aware of how to operate his business for the short term and long term. Once we've got him set up, we'll keep a close check on him for the first 6 months, 12 months to make sure his business is running properly.
Only companies that market themselves effectively will succeed.
Our team are well experienced in identifying new markets and developing existing ones for local companies.
Analyse the results. Well, when somebody comes through the door, if they've got an idea, we can help them with their marketing research, which involves putting a questionnaire together and going around the relevant area to find out if their product or service is actually required and if there is a market for it. Once that's done, then we can help them with, once their product or services is underway, we can help them promote it. We can also put together brochures in conjunction with local companies in the area at competitive prices, and also promote their product at the right time of year, which will give them the most impact for the company.
Many grants and loans are available to assist business development within the East End of Glasgow. We can tailor the appropriate package of finance for any local project.
There's a variety of grants and loans for businesses starting in the East End, from regional enterprise grants to regional selective assistance to loans from the public authorities, for example Strathclyde Region, from Glasgow District Council, from the Scottish Development Agency, and from British Coal and from British Steel. In some cases it can be an individual grant or loan, or what we call a cocktail. In other words, you have a funding package where the council would lend only provided one of the other authorities is lending, as well as your business's own money going in, which is very important, and support from your local bank in the East End.
East End Executive helps British Coal Enterprise do its work in British East End Executive's own locale. They will take clients through business plans, financial package, and give them all the advice they need to start up in business or indeed for business expansion. If they think it's appropriate, they will then come to British Coal Enterprise for the appropriate amount of funding.
We can help to identify educational and training needs for East End individuals and businesses. Using the latest computerized databases, the best possible provision of education and training can be speedily accessed.
The East End Executive can help to identify training courses for businesses within the East End by using information gained from the company and having access to our information database, which will come up with tailor-made courses for each individual.
A wide range of properties and factory sites are available within our area. We can liaise with companies and property owners to find the most appropriate location for new businesses and their markets.
There are many opportunities for businesses to come into the East End and join the successful companies here already. We're tied into the property banks at the SDA, at the local authority, the Glasgow District and Strathclyde region. We're tied into all the private property owners and their agents to help source and resource property to meet everyone's needs. We have a data bank of property which covers small industrial units for start-up companies. We can put you into industrial warehouses and factories to meet larger needs, and we know where the sites are and help to get the sites for purpose-built industrial property of any size. We don't just concentrate on new property, but we help people who are working on limited budgets. We work with their budgets and we find premises that meet their budgets so that their businesses can be successful.
The East End Executive works to bring you a full range of business services, information database, business planning, marketing, finance, training, property and promotion. You can make initial access to any or all of these at no charge. We aim to make you a winner by providing answers to all your business problems. If you'll let us, our experienced team will help develop your business potential for new markets whilst helping Glasgow's East End community thrive.
I would say anyone, regardless of their background or their history, should feel comfortable at going along East End Executive. We were certainly made very comfortable and made very welcome, and the people concerned listened to our plan very, very sympathetically and gave us sound advice.
We found the East End Executive staff extremely helpful, and they take a great interest in our zoo, and we own about 100 acres of land around here, and they've been round, looked into every nook and cranny, appraised it, been down and looked at similar operations in England, similar leisure-based operations. The bottom line is to create a healthy infrastructure with a lot of jobs, and we're all trying to do this, and we think an organisation like this, with the clout it carries, can only help.
I found them to be helpful. I found them to be supportive, sensible, logical and very practical in their outlook. They were obviously on a par with retailers, and they certainly improved the vision or the outlook of retailing, gave it a much higher profile, and we certainly would thank them for the support they gave in making my job and the job of Gateway Food Markets much easier with regard to recruiting and staffing and training the staff required for the Parkhead Forge store.
There's been a lot of job creation all over Scotland, but I think the fact that all these jobs have been created in the East End of Glasgow and the area covered by the executive owes a lot to the work that they have done in that area.
Clearly, to operate effectively in the way that you've seen within this film, we need funding, and that funding has been provided on a joint basis, in that every pound the private sector have put into our operation has been matched by another pound from the public sector. For our first year of operation, we raised over £200,000, and that's enabled us to in fact assist 1,600 people to get into work, real work. We've identified a further 3,000 opportunities which will involve major investment of the order of 85 million within the patch that's going to take place. What we want is your assistance to see to it that East End businesses and East End residents get the best opportunities out of this investment. Your help is absolutely essential. You can assist us in many ways. You can provide us with services. Are you an architect, a solicitor, lawyer? Many ways you can assist us. You don't have to just dig your hand in to give us funds. Most of the assistance we've achieved today has been via secondees, which has been a two-way swap, because a secondee gets good management training. It's good experience. And we currently have secondees on the team from United Distillers. We have them from Glasgow College. These people gain from it, you'll gain from it. Give us the opportunity to talk to you about what we think we can offer you and what you can offer us. It is a partnership after all.